following views and opinions do not reflect River West Video or riverwestradio.com. All opinions and quotations in no way represent the radio station, but are in fact the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not responsible for any legal issues arising from the content of this program.
You know why you're here, Mr. Wordsworth?
Yes, sir.
I'd ask you to speak up a little, if you will.
Yes, sir. I know why I am here.
You've been under investigation, Mr. Wordsworth, for the mandatory period of 1 year and 11 months. You're found to be obsolete. The purpose of this hearing is to make a finding in the matter and make a sentence accordingly. Do you understand that?
I understand that.
Your occupation, Mr. Wordsworth?
A radio talk show host.
A what?
A radio talk show host, sir.
I'm told you've had counsel and been given orientation, Mr. Wordsworth, but I'm still not sure in my own mind that you understand the purpose of this hearing. The field investigators in your sector have classified you as obsolete. This finding carries with it serious implications. Do you understand that, Mr. Wordsworth? Now I ask you again, your occupation?
I am a radio talk show host. That is my occupation, my profession. If you people choose to call that obsolete...
Request clarification of the term? Yes, the term. Mr. Wordsworth, you people, you make reference to the state?
I make reference to the state.
And you persist in declaring your occupation, correct?
That is correct.
A minister would tell us that his function is that of preaching the word of God. And of course it follows that since the state has proven that there is no God, that would make the function of a minister somewhat academic as well.
There is a God.
You are in error, Mr. Wordsworth. There is no God. The state has proven that there is no God.
You cannot erase God with an edict.
You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth. You have no function, Mr. Wordsworth. You're an anachronism, like a ghost from another time.
I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth.
You're a bug, Mr. Wordsworth, a crawling insect, an ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought out loud, that thought exists, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions. The Bible, poetry, essays, all kind, all of it an opiate to make you think you have a strength when you have no strength at all. You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream, and the state has no use for your kind.
Yeah? Well, we're gonna have to do something about that. This is RiverWestRadio.com, community-supported radio streaming live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm your host. My name is Michael Wordsworth, and welcome to Breaking Down the News, the show that presents the news highlights of the week, but with a twist. Breaking Down the News is more concerned in bringing you information that wasn't covered on the front pages. Headlines you don't want to miss, because not listening could be dangerous to your freedom, liberty, and health. Good afternoon. It is Friday, July 6, 2012. We made it this far. Scorching 101 degrees here in Milwaukee, and it's not too cool here in the radio booth. But we've got the news, and we are going to read the news on this wonderful Friday. Hope you guys are out there enjoying yourself and listen to this later on the archives. But here, let's start off with corruption of the Farm Bill. The corruption of the Farm Bill and why clean organic food remains more expensive than conventional foods. This article from naturalnews.com, Ethan A. Huff, staff writer. If you ever wondered why junk food is almost always artificially cheap compared to healthy food, you need look no further than federal agricultural policy. Little do most people know that the federal government funnels billions of tax dollars via the Farm Bill into large-scale crop systems that primarily grow genetically modified soy, corn, cotton, and other commodity crops used throughout the highly processed industrial food supply. Every 5 years, Congress reviews the guidelines of the existing Farm Bill and comes up with new ways to allocate the nearly $1 trillion sum typically apportioned for American agricultural programs. And since existing Farm Bill provisions are set to expire on September 30th, 2012, the Obama administration is currently pushing Congress to pass a revised Farm Bill known as the Agriculture Reform, Food and Jobs Act of 2012. Hailed as encompassing the most significant reforms in agricultural policy in decades, I should have read that, hailed as encompassing the most significant reforms in agricultural policy in decades, the 2012 Farm Bill will allegedly end direct payments to farmers, end farm payments to individuals and entities whose gross income exceeds $750,000 per year, and consolidate risk management programs, among other things. But many of the provisions of the new bill still favor large-scale producers of mostly commodity crops at the expense of small-scale farmers who receive little, if any, financial incentives or benefits. Every 5 years or so, Congress promises a new, improved farm bill that will end unnecessary subsidies to big farmers, enhance the environment, and actually do something to help small farmers in small towns, writes Robert B. Semple Jr. from the New York Times. He goes on to say, but what it usually does is find a ways of disguising the old iniquities, sending taxpayers dollars to wealthy farmers, accelerating the expansion of industrial farming, inflating land prices, and further depopulating rural America. Direct payments, for instance, is a program that since 1996 has been doing, it's been doling. See, that little L looked a lot like the I. I apologize, America. Direct payments, for instance, is a program since 1996 has been doling out payments to farmers for commodity crops regardless of market value or production levels. According to the Environmental Working Group and others, these payments have been given to farmers regardless of need. The government has also been providing insurance subsidies to farmers who grow commodity crops such as corn, wheat, soybeans, cotton, rice, and canola. Canola is also it was originally known as rapeseed. I just thought I'd add that in there. Can you imagine, nobody would buy canola oil if it was like rapeseed oil? I mean, who named that? Rape the seed. Anyhow. This, what the heck was I even writing? Subsidies to farmers, growing corn, wheat, soybeans, cotton, rice, canola, which not only causes more farmers to grow these crops, but also puts these farmers at an unfair competitive advantage compared to farmers who grow various other crops. This year's Farm Bill, the Senate version of which passed on June 21, is not really all that different from previous farm bills, as it still subsidizes industrial crops at the expense of non-industrial crops. This means that an organic farmer producing non-commodity crops like carrots, sweet potatoes, and beets, for example, will not receive nearly the benefits nor the incentives that an industrial grower of GM corn will receive. Man, that sucks. To make matters worse, large-scale growers in general are also given preferential treatment over small-scale growers, including small-scale farmers growing commodity crops. According to data collected by the NYT, and I don't know what the NYT stands for, New York Times, that's my best guess. The top 20% of farm subsidy recipients between 1995 and 2010 received 90% of the overall allotment of subsidies, while the remaining 80% collectively received the remaining paltry 10%. So I guess that'd be according to the data collected by the New York Times, the top 20% of farm subsidy recipients between 1995 and 2010 received 90 cents. And the rest of the 80% of the farmers got a dime. They said, here, don't spend it all in one place, buddy. These and other iniquities in the federal agricultural policy are what keep America's food system both unhealthy and dominated by corporate agricultural interests with no regard for human health. And they are the very iniquities that groups like EWG, it's EWG, I don't know what EWG, I forgot, it was early in the article. It's EWG stands for Environmental Working Group, EWG. Well, actually, they're a good group. They're a good group, so I shouldn't be picking on them. I should give proper due respect to their name, the EWG. They're calling on Congress to address in this year's Farm Bill this iniquity, this inequality between corporate-dominated big agri and the little teeny farmers out there just trying to get by. All right, I'm Michael Wordsworth. It's going to be a long Friday, so I'm just going to read the news, chill out, not get too excited. I'm going to try to not get too excited. What are you going to do? All right, let's go to the station identification and play some commercials. And if you know, they're not real commercials. I do satire here. They're actually anti-propaganda propaganda. That's right. Propaganda designed to wake you up to propaganda. Does it make sense? It's the only way to reach your minds. You poor bastards are so conditioned over the years by television and commercials that the only way I can seem to penetrate your consciousness anymore is by making it seem like it's actually from Ronco. That's right. All right, we'll be right back. You're listening to RiverWestRadio.com. Every day, people wake up all over the world and hear commercials like this one with soft music and a soothing announcer's voice telling you how great some big corporation's new technology will help you and your family. But it is important to remember, these companies could give a flying fuck about you or your family. That's why Breaking Down the News has made this commercial to counter their commercials. Don't be fooled by them. The battle is to gain control of your mind through media propaganda. Just say no to evil corporations and their slick computer graphics designed to brainwash viewers. Vote no with your dollars, and we will regain the health of our nation, one consumer at a time.
And now, live from River West Radio, the man with words worth listening to, your host, Michael Wordsworth.
Just joking. I feel like busting out on some sort of song every time I hear that thing lead in. We're going to go on to high spike and suicide. All right, maybe I should read this correctly. High spike in suicide rates among psychiatric patients points to pharmaceutical repercussions. This article by J.D. Hayes from naturalnews.com. What is causing a dramatic spike in the number of suicides among psychiatric outpatients in one of Illinois' most prestigious psychiatric programs? That's what researchers. Man, all right. That is what researchers would like to find out. So would I. So let's just read this article. Though a number of observers think the phenomenon think the phenomenon could be related to the medications themselves. Officials within Northwestern Memorial Hospital, which is located in Chicago, said while they're concerned about this disturbing trend, yeah, I bet they are, they offered no further details about the hospital's response, nor any specific number of outpatients who have committed suicide, except to say that they have, quote, taken steps to identify patients at greater risks in order to increase the already high level of support provided to all of our patients. I hate hospitals. I hate psychiatrists. I hate psych meds. I hate people that go to therapists and complain about their lives. Your problems aren't because of you have every right to be depressed. You have every right to be anxious. You ain't going to get away from it by doing psych meds and talking to your therapist. You're freaking depressed because you got no future and you don't participate in your life. You have no steering wheel on the car that's taking you down the road of life. So you bounce it all over the place. Sometimes you end up in a ditch, and then when you do, you're like, I need psych meds because that's what I've been conditioned to do. Yeah, well, the Chicago Tribune said sources it spoke with claimed 7 hospital outpatients since December have killed themselves. The paper said it was able to identify 5 of those 7 through interviews and government records. What, like you couldn't, what did they do? Rip out all their teeth, scrape off their, maybe they did. Maybe they just burned themselves alive. I don't know. This article doesn't say, but how could you not identify the people that killed themselves unless they, decimated their bodies? What's notable about the phenomenon is the fact that the number of suicides has spiked so quickly and so recently. A retired Northwestern administrator who spoke to the paper on conditions of anonymity remembered something like the 1 to 3 suicides a year by outpatients over the past 10 years. In a separate interview, one-time Northwestern Psychiatric Program Chief Dr. Ronald Krasner recalled only a handful of suicides during his 10 years with the program, the paper said. No one wants to talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room. My God, if there really was an 800-pound gorilla in the room, I wouldn't want to talk about it either. I'd want to get the hell out of here. Well, in this case, the gorilla, they replaced elephant with gorilla. That's cool. We need to change that metaphor. The suicides are getting the attention of program managers. However, here's a quote from the Tribune. See, it's not real until the news reports it for you folks. You got to hear it from some talking head has to come on the air and go, good evening. Several Northwestern medical professionals told reporters that the suicides have been a topic at the staff meetings and that the hospital has undertaken intensive reviews of each case. Dr. Morris Goldman, an associate professor in psychiatry and behavioral sciences at the hospital, admitted, quote, there has been a major discussion at all levels here regarding the skyrocketing suicide level. Yes, we know that it says right on the medication bottles that one of the side effects is these psych meds will make you commit suicide. Ain't that weird? I mean, that's like taking a bullet for a headache, isn't it? Taking I have a headache, so I'm going to blow my head off. Well, we're depressed, then we take psych meds, and then the psych meds put us in this sort of zombie-like dream state, and then we get even more depressed because we don't get the endorphin running through our brain, and we're even more messed up than before, and then we want to commit suicide because we're on this drug that's got us whacked out. Well, I don't. I mean, I really don't. But I know friends that have taken these psych meds and no, I mean, I don't know anybody that actually committed suicide, but, I mean, because of the psych meds, but I'm sure maybe they were. Well, medical professionals from across the spectrum offered the paper loose, non-specific explanations for what is occurring, none of which blamed Big Pharma and the medicines these patients may have been taking. Dr. J. Michael Bostwick of the Mayo Clinic said reliable data on the prevalence of suicide among psychiatric patients is at a premium and, at best, unreliable because such patients hop in and out at the thing. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. You're listening to RiverWestRadio.com. Are you tired of commercials always telling you that you're tired when you know you're tired because you wake up early and go to bed late and every moment in between is spent trying to figure out how you're going to make the next dollar? Well, you're not alone. Millions of Americans are walking around in a sleep-deprived, zombie-like state, amplified by psych meds and pharmaceuticals found in the drinking water. So just be glad you're not one of them, unless you are, in which case I'm sorry you had to hear this. But wait, there's more. If we keep at this current pace, we will surely lose our democratic republic and soon be standing in food lines for the poisonous rations the new totalitarian government will hand out. Don't delay, get involved, get informed. All right, we're back. That was like attention deficit radio news there. I got a phone call and I needed to take it, so that's just the way it is. I don't know, cut to a commercial. That's what they're for. I was reading about how medications are just messed up, how like more people are committing suicide on these medications, and apparently all the hospitals are saying is, oh, we're looking into this, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Guys, get off the psych meds. That's just the end of the article. Get off the psych meds. They don't help. They don't help you. Okay. We're reading from Natural News to start off the show. I thought rather than go into all this incredibly depressing foreign policy stuff that's just leading us into this inevitable World War III, I thought I'd read something from the lighter side, a few things about health-related news. Naturalnews.com, really good stuff. So this article, I mean, anybody got doggies out there? Woof, woof. Any puppies? Any dogs in the house? Yo. Well, anyhow, this is an article about how to keep your dog healthy. Yeah, no, for real, man. I'm going to read this. I mean, I didn't even, maybe we need to, people love their dogs. So let's just read about dog health for a moment. Can we do that? All right, cool, because I'm going to. Anyhow, unless you want to call in. If you want to call in, the number is 414-935-2951. You could say, hell no, don't read the dog news. Let's talk about something. Oh, God, I would actually love it if somebody just freaking called in today. Otherwise, I'm stuck reading all this news. I'm on here till 6 o'clock. But, all right, don't call in then, fine. 414-935-2951. I mean, at this point, call in to talk about the freaking weather. I don't even care, man. We got to talk about something. It's supposed to be news talk radio, and I've got no guests today. No audience today. They're out on a mission. What are you going to do? Nice people walking by. A lot of girls, man. A lot of girls. This place is, I don't know. We live in River West, man. I'm telling you, per capita, we got more hot girls here than you would imagine. It's just, Milwaukee didn't used to be like this, but there's just like these massive waves. I don't know where they're coming from. Shorewood, somewhere. I mean, I'm not talking about them skanky hoes from Racine either, I'm talking about actual good girls, They got smarts on them. They're all like poets or artists or novel writers or 3D computer animators. It's amazing, man. I mean, all the chicks around here are just into something, and they're like brilliant. It's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some stupid ones, but by and large, I'm telling you, the cute ones around here, they got some brains to them. But I digress. I mean, there's the new news report. I thought about, like, I sit up here in the news and River West Radio video, and like, I was thinking about doing the cute girl report, but it just, it's radio, so you're not going to get the full impact of the experience here. But every now and then, one will walk by, and I'm reading the news, and it's just like, oh, no, okay. And then I'll pause, and you guys won't know why I'm pausing, but that's generally why. All right, come on, puppy news here. We're going to read about puppies. In the last 50 years or so, the health of domestic dogs has declined dramatically. Dogs are getting serious diseases at younger ages and are living shorter lives. Clearly, something is profoundly wrong. I'll tell you what's wrong. My freaking computer just came in here and started doing something. All right, now I can read. Clearly, something's profoundly wrong with the current model of canine healthcare. What has happened in these years to do so to change the health of doggies? There have been two major changes in this time: diet and veterinarian care. Diet is at the heart of most dog disease. Dogs are omnivorous. That's a tough word. Omnivorous. Dogs are omnivorous. Scavengers at the carnivore end of the spectrum. They evolved to eat whatever was available in times of plenty or scarcer times. They can cope with a wide variety of food. In good times, dogs hunt in packs. They bring down large animals and eat most of the carcass. In leaner times, dogs can live on a diet which is exclusively vegetarian, although maybe not happily. They can survive on earthworms. Oh, is that nice? They can survive on earthworms. They're able to process rotting meat and decaying carcasses. Ah, you know, I love dogs, and I'm sure you do too. But this article is putting me to sleep. It is. You know what? I'll cut to the chase. Feed your dog raw diet food. You know what raw diet is? It's actual like meat and veggies and supplements all mixed together. Feed your cats that too. See, animals don't eat little dry, crunchy pellets in the wild. They don't go around hunting dehydrated animal protein. But us, stupid humans, because we've been brainwashed by big corporate puppy chows, we totally think that dogs and cats eat dry little pellets in the wild. I mean, when you think about it, it's freaking utterly stupid. So if animals, do animals in the wild eat dry little pellets? No. Like, you know all the dog food and the cat food? It's like we feed them dry dog and cat food. Like, when you think about it, like why? I mean, they don't hunt for millions of years. They did not hunt little dry pellets. And I was just saying, it's because, like, puppy chow brainwashed us, man, into thinking that that's what we got. Our animals are starving. I'm reading this stupid article about health of dogs, and I'm realizing it's putting me to sleep, one. And then you guys walked in, and I was like, thank God in heaven there's somebody to talk to. I've been begging people to call in. It's just kind of, we're reading Talk News here, news radio. It's a news radio show. Breaking down the news, kind of riverwestradio.com. You guys ever tune into the radio station? Oh, no, where are you from?
I'm from Duluth, Minnesota.
He's from Duluth, Minnesota. You just passing through?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, man, nice. Everybody who's here is going over to Minnesota.
Oh,
I know, I love it. The travelers are like coming from Cali to here on the way to the East Coast, and some dudes from the East Coast coming here to go out to the West Coast. And I'm like, why don't we all just stay in the same place, you know?
Let's hang out.
Yeah, we'll just all gather. It's like, wait, they have that. I think they're called the Rainbow Gatherings, aren't they? Well, we're just, yeah. It's a summer thing, though, isn't it?
It's a thing.
It's a thing to do.
It's a thing.
I mean, what else? It's just too. I mean, I almost want to get the hell out of here my damn self, you know. But I got to do this radio station. Oh man, it was nice meeting you guys. Totally welcome to Milwaukee. You're in the right town, River West.
Yeah.
Are you from Duluth too?
No, I'm from Wisconsin.
A Wisconsin girl.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Farmland? Did you grow up on the farm?
Horicon, the marsh.
Oh really? What's it like out there?
Like the rest of Midwest, or Mid-Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Not much. Lots of cornfields.
Lots of cornfields. You guys keep up on politics, foreign affairs, and all that kind of thing?
Not too much.
Not really. But is it because the news sucks and they're lying anyhow, or is it because our government sucks because they just want to maintain a hegemonic status in the world and maintain the global empire while we pay for it and slowly die and decay into nothing? And I mean, which is, I guess the both of those. Oh, really? Because you're a traveler, right? You're traveling around. So, yeah, that's the downside about it. A lot of these travelers, man, I've been talking to them, and like, we're totally on the same page with so much, but they don't have internet, you know, and bites because I'm like, you know, I do all this kind of like this material, like apparently it's compatico with the traveler philosophy. And, yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with the anarchists. We've just been debating, though, like, once you overthrow everything, then what the hell do you do? Like, you know, and like, you know, we're like, well, we just leave it alone. It's like, no, but food's going to become scarce. People are going to attack each other, and then the whole cycle is going to start all over again. We just figured it's a circle between anarchy and order, chaos, anarchy, order. It's just, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the way it is, huh?
Yeah.
Who knows, man? All we need to know is enjoy our summer because we might not have much time left to enjoy anything. So, nice talking to you guys. Peace out. All right, we're going to move from the dogs, the resulting effect for your dog. I don't know. I mean, I guess this is a good article. You should just go read it yourself. Go to naturalnews.com. It's up there right now. How to keep your dog healthy. It's a lot. I don't even own a dog, so I don't know why I'm reading this, man. I had a cat, but I left it with, just never mind. It's a long story. Had another cat, but then I can't tell you that story either. So I guess just, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read about GlaxoSmithKline admits to criminal pharma fraud and $3 billion case. This article also from Natural News Today. Boy, they're on the money today. British registered company GlaxoSmithKline faces $3 billion in penalties after pleading guilty to the biggest healthcare fraud case in history. GSK, which is short for GlaxoSmithKline, admitted that physicians had been bribed to push potentially dangerous drugs in exchange for Madonna tickets, Hawaiian holidays, cash, and lucrative speaking tours, and a side of cocaine and a couple of hookers. They also admitted distributing misleading information regarding the antidepressant Paxil. The report claimed that it was suitable for children, but failed to acknowledge data from studies proving its ineffectiveness in children and adolescents. GSK, which is short for GlaxoSmithKline, faced charges that they had used the gifts to sell 3 drugs that were either unsafe or used for purposes that were not approved. The first drug, Paxil, also known as Seroxat, man, these names, how would you, Seroxat, so it'd be like Xavier, huh? I mean, they're running out of names. Well, anyhow, the first drug, Paxil, also known as Seroxat, was touted as safe and effective for children and adolescents. The ineffectiveness of Paxil and the link to suicides meant that it was banned for kids under 18 years old in 2008. The second drug, Avandia, was used in Britain to treat diabetes until it was withdrawn due to safety fears, including increased risk of heart attacks. The U.S. government claimed that GSK, which is short for GlaxoSmithKline, had attempted to conceal the data surrounding the dangers. The third drug, Wellbutrin, is used in the U.K. for treating depression, but it was alleged that GSK, which, you know what that stands for now, right? GlaxoSmithKline? Okay, cool. Then I'll just stick with the GSK. All right, I'm going back to the article. Had recommended physicians used it for ADHD, lost libido, and a slimming aid, none of which were approved uses for the drug. The moral code of big pharma companies exposed. Sir Andrew Whitty, chief executive of GSK, said, "Whilst these offences originate in different era for the company, they cannot and will not be ignored. On behalf of GSK, I want to express our regret and reiterate that we have learned from the mistakes that were made. We are deeply committed to doing everything we can live up to and exceed the expectations of those we work with and serve. In the U.S., we have taken action at all levels in the company. We have fundamentally changed our procedures for compliance, marketing, and selling." U.S. Attorney General for Massachusetts, Carmen Ortiz, said, now I got to impersonate this guy. How would the U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts sound? He'd be kind of like, okay, here, East Coast dude. The GSK sales force bribed physicians to prescribe GSK products using every imaginable form of high-priced entertainment, from Hawaiian vacations to paying doctors, millions of doctors, to go on speaking tours, to a European pheasant hunt, to tickets to Madonna concerts. All right, I made it. All right, cool. This is the biggest settlement in the history of drug industries, ahead of the 2009 Pfizer case, in which it was fined $2.2 billion for promoting 4 drugs for unapproved use. In 2010, GSK paid $96 million to a whistleblower who exposed contamination problems and a management cover-up in Puerto Rico. The practice of pushing drugs for unapproved uses is endemic within the drug industries. 2 of the largest drug companies have been caught and fined huge amounts for chasing sales targets using any means necessary. It proves that the health of customers, even children, ranks lower on the company's agenda than profit. Using bribes to get doctors to prescribe drugs shows a complete lack of moral fiber from both sales teams and the doctors. After this case, surely the doctors also need to face the courts for their conduct. Whilst the amounts of money seem to be a huge punishment for GSK, the settlement is merely a slap on the wrist for a company whose market value is $133 billion. I can imagine that. Our company's worth $133 billion. I wish. Can we trust another multinational? A multinational is like a company that exists in several nations at once. Yeah. Another multinational that promises to clean up its act when others have promised the same, only to behave just as recklessly, but much more surreptitiously. I'm sorry. I'm going to go home and practice that word tonight. I will never make the mistake again. I swear to God, I will practice that word, people. All right. We made it through yet another article on this Friday edition of Breaking Down the News. I'm Michael Wordsworth, kind of hot and chilling out in the studio on this wonderful sunny day. We're taking it chill. We're going to have to move into, I've run out of health news. We're going to have to go into the usual foreign freaking policy of our country and how messed up that is, and then like the crisis in Europe and economies and spy drones and how they're making little drones out of like the size of mosquitoes now. And we got some beatings and some new TSA reports, and Barack Obama, we're going to read about his mama. We're going to read about your mama, Barack Obama. You don't want us to know about that. Andrew Breitbart got killed talking about you, didn't he? Got killed real good. Whoo, yeah. And then the coroner that was doing the autopsy for Andrew Breitbart, he got killed too. I don't know if any of you guys know. I met some people that know about Andrew Breitbart, but most of you don't. It's a guy that was about to bust out with all these videotapes showing that Barack Obama is actually a card-carrying communist. And if that doesn't bother you, it should. You freaking commie, get the hell out of our country. We are not communists, we're not socialists, and we're never going to be. Heh. If I have anything to say about it. All right, I got to take a break. Then we're going to come back, read more news. That's right. I should probably get some more coffee, too. I swear that would probably pick up the pace here. All right, let me see. I'll put on... Who do I got? The TSA. No, that probably won't be long. Okay, let's read about the FBI. I'll do the FBI interview, and then I'll be able to get a cup of coffee and come back and even be more vibrant about the news. You're listening to RiverWestRadio.com. And hear commercials like this one with soft music and a soothing announcer's voice telling you how great some big corporation's new technology will help you and your family. But it is important to remember, these companies could give a flying fuck about you or your family. That's why Breaking Down the News has made this commercial to counter their commercials. Don't be fooled by them. The battle is to gain control of your mind through media propaganda. Just say no to evil corporations and their slick computer graphics designed to brainwash viewers. Vote no with your dollars, and we will regain the health of our nation, one consumer at a time. You're listening to RiverWestRadio.com. The FBI headquarters is a huge modern building in the middle of downtown. Cars and trucks drive past the front entrance on this very active street, and these doors will lead us to the elevators that will take us to the office of Deputy Director Hank Polarank.
Welcome to the FBI headquarters. Can I help you?
Yes, I have an appointment with Deputy Director Polarank.
And your name is?
Michael Wordsworth from RiverWestRadios.com, breaking down the news show.
Michael who? No.
The staff at the FBI was professional and courteous as they greeted me, and after a few security complications were smoothed out, I was soon able to get in to do my interview. Michael Wordsworth from Breaking Down the News.
Hey, come on in, take a seat.
And it was an interesting interview. How many terrorist plots has the FBI foiled in the last few years?
We've been busy, very busy with ongoing investigations. It's hard to say off the top of my head. 10, maybe 12?
And out of those 10 or 12 incidents, how many of those were not terrorist plots instigated by the FBI?
None actually.
Not one.
Well, the underwear bomber, that wasn't us.
But it came to light that the underwear bomber was forced onto the plane by a well-dressed man, and he didn't go through security. That wasn't the FBI.
No. Might have been Secret Service. I think they handled that one.
I'd like to quote an article from the New York Times. Can I?
Sure, go ahead.
This is an article by David K. Shipler, published April 29, 2012, and I quote, "But all these dramas were facilitated by the FBI, whose undercover agents and informers posed as terrorists offering a dummy missile, fake C4 explosives, a disarmed suicide vest, and rudimentary training. Suspects naively played their parts until they were arrested. When an Oregon college student, Mohammed Osman Mohammed, thought of using a car bomb to attack a festive Christmas tree lighting ceremony in Portland, the FBI provided a van loaded with 55-gallon drums of inert material, harmless blasting caps, a detonator cord, and a gallon of diesel fuel to make the van smell flammable. An undercover FBI agent even did the driving, with Mr. Muhammad in the passenger seat. To trigger the bomb, the student punched a number into a cell phone and got no boom, only a bust. What do you say to that?"
What's your point?
My point is it sounds like we really don't have a terrorism problem in America beyond those plots the FBI makes up itself.
How did you get in here? Agent Smith.
Be right in.
What is it, sir? Hey, wait. How did you get in here? I don't believe this. He doesn't have clearance, sir. You'll have to come with me.
He doesn't have clearance? How did he get past you?
He snuck in here when I went to pay for the pizza delivery. I was there for a while. I wanted exact change.
Okay, hey, thanks for the interview. That's all I need now.
Sir, stop. Come back here.
He doesn't have clearance?
Thank you. Talk soon. You guys take care.
Security, we have a gate jumper headed for the elevators.
And whereas this interview did not yield all the answers I wanted, I did get to state my point. And as I was leaving the FBI building, I had the realization that making my point was worth the trip. You're listening to RiverWestRadio.com. Yeah, okay, so I don't know how long that was dead air on the radio. I apologize for that. Hope you guys didn't fall asleep or freak out or weren't checking your internet connections. Truth is, I had to get a cup of coffee, and then I started talking to some travelers out there, and I was like, cool. It's always good to hear people's stories, man. So many people passing through River West these days. From Portland, I was just listening to a girl saying how Portland sucks out there. It's too trendy and whatnot, and maybe I should ask them to come on the show. You know, we should do like a traveler show. You know, that'd be kind of cool. These guys, it's crazy. A lot of people don't dig them because they walk around with these backpacks on, and people are like, you know, of course, you know, a lot of people do. Just, they're understood here in River West. We're simpatico to this type of thing. We understand if you're sleeping underneath the bridge and all your supplies and the entire house exists in one single backpack. I can tell you the good thing about you traveler people is you're already ready for something that's coming. The economy. When that thing collapses, a lot of people are going to be traveling too, but not in style like you guys are. They won't know how to cope and how to survive. Okay, hold on. Got to drink some coffee. It's hot coffee and it's a hot day. So that's why I'm like pretty chilled out today. Did I read this article? All right, here, wait. Let me play some news and not some news. The news short, and then this lets you know that I'm about to read news. Yeah, it's very important that we have this type of discernment. Okay, here we go. Israel says Iranian terrorist plots to attack its interest in Kenya. This article by Ibrahim something or other. Aruko. Sorry, Ibrahim Aruko. I didn't get this. The arrangement in a Nairobi court of two Iranians accused of having explosives has opened a new front in the diplomatic row between Israel and Iran. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday accused Iran of plotting terror attacks against its interest in Kenya. Netanyahu further accused Tehran of being a sponsor. Tehran, it would be in Iran, actually. Of being a sponsor of international terrorism. Iranian terrorism knows no borders, Netanyahu is quoted as saying in a statement from his office. You know what else doesn't know any borders? Mr. Netanyahu. I'll tell you what, the Israeli Zionists. I mean, I'm cool with, like, Israelis. I mean, great people. And most of them agree, though, that their leaders like ours are freaking insane. We should be listening to these guys. And they know that our leaders, like their leaders in Israel, are like warmongering idiots that are hell-bent on destroying the world in the nuclear fallout. Well, here's a quote from Netanyahu, the freaking warmonger that would love to kill every Muslim. See, it's one thing you can bitch about Iran wanting to do terrorist acts. Really, Iran's been minding its own freaking business and taking care of its own business. Israel, we should have moved Israel to like New Mexico, and then we wouldn't have had any of these problems. But no, we had to give, you know, I'm saying we, and we didn't give them crap. But it was actually the British Empire. You see, prior to World War II, the British Empire was called that because they had colonies. They were imperial dogs that colonized other nations and exploited them and kept their people down and oppressed. White people like to call that normal, but it ain't so funny when you don't get the kickbacks from that empire and then the empire turns on you and starts to colonize you, the citizens. But I digress. Anyhow, Netanyahu saying Iranian terrorism knows no borders. What else did he say? He said, I can't even do a Netanyahu impersonation. I never heard the guy speak, or if I did, it's just been a few times, but let's try. I'll try a Netanyahu. He said, after Iran sent its agents to murder the Saudi ambassador on U.S. soil, The country has engaged in attacks in Azerbaijan, Bangkok, and Tbilisi in New Delhi. I mean, the country is spelled Tbilisi, and I swear, I think I know all 168 countries in the world. I forgot how many there are, but now there's a new one. Did you know they call it Myanmar? It's no longer Cambodia. I'm pretty sure it's called Myanmar. Kind of interesting. I mean, you can name your countries whatever you want. It's just like I got to update my geography, and just I guess that's what I got to do. Well, anyhow, what's Netanyahu bitching about again? The international community must fight against this major player in the world of terrorism. All right, there it goes. They run out of enemies to justify their industrial military complex, so now they got to convince you, the American idiot, that you have to spend your tax dollars on more war crap, and that's the only way that we can keep peace. Peace through war. You know, I mean, who said that quote? Like, fighting for peace is like copulating for virginity. They used the F word in there, but I interjected copulate. So, well, anyhow, according to the court charges against Ahmed Mohammed and Said Mossad, the two Iranians were arrested after they were found with 15 kilograms of hard rock cocaine. No, I'm just joking. 15 kilograms of RDX explosives in circumstances which indicated that they were armed with intent to commit a felony. They were arrested in Nairobi and led investigators to Mombasa Golf Course on Mama Ngina Drive, where the explosives were found. They both denied the charges before Principal Magistrate B.C. Biwat, what a name, just a day after the June 25th grenade attack on a bar in Misaho Moroni area of Mombasa that killed 3 people. Well, there you go. Israel says Iranian terrorist plotting to attack its interest in Kenya. That's so. Check it out, though. Israel has interest in Kenya. Why? And the Iranians have interest in what? Out of Kenya? I mean, the U.S. military surrounding Iran. They're moving all their stuff into the South Pacific. They're getting ready for World War III, you freaking idiots out there. While you're slurping beers and ignoring life, life's being decided for you. Let's move on to another article. Wait, I got to play the little news theme. That always helps you guys. All right, here we go. News coming up. And we're back to talk about Barack Obama and his mama. That's right, Barack Obama, his mother, and the CIA. This article from William Blum from BoilingFrogsPost.com. Oh, I love that name, BoilingFrogsPost.com. And I'm going to read your article, Mr. Blum, and I'm going to try to make light of it because what can you do? In his autobiography, Dreams from My Father, Barack Obama writes of taking a job at some point after graduating from Columbia University in 1983. He describes his employer as, quote, a consulting house to multinational corporations, unquote, in New York City, and his functions as a research assistant and financial writer. Oddly, Obama doesn't mention the name of his employer. However, a New York Times story of October 30th, 2007 identifies the company as Business International Corporation. Could it be any more generic? The Business International Corporation. Acme. Equally odd is that the Times did not remind its readers that the newspaper itself had disclosed in 1977 that Business International had provided cover for the 4 CIA employees in various countries between 1955 and 1960. The British journal Lobster, which despite its incongruous name, is a venerable international publication on intelligence matters. And it has reported that the Business International was active in the 1980s, promoting the candidacy of Washington-favored candidates in Australia and Fiji. That Fiji, where we get that Fiji water. You ever have that stuff? Oh, Fiji water, man. When you're out there and you don't want to drink fluoride and tap water and you just don't know what, the Fiji water costs a little bit more, but man, it is so good. All right, wait, did I accidentally just plug Fiji water? I did. But at the same time, I discredited fluoride in the water, so tap water. So I guess it was a double whammy. Very good job, Mr. Wordsworth. Thank you. I appreciate that. In 1987, the CIA overthrew the Fiji government after about 1 month in office because of its policy of maintaining the island as a nuclear-free zone, meaning that American nuclear-powered or nuclear weapons carrying ships could not make port calls. They couldn't get water. After the Fiji coup, the candidate supported by Business International, who was much more amenable to Washington's nuclear desires, was reinstated to power. RSK Mara was Prime Minister and President of Fiji from 1970 to 2000, except for the 1 month break in 1987. In his book, not only doesn't Obama mention his employer's name, he fails to say exactly when he worked there or why he left the job. There may well be no significance to those omissions, but inasmuch as Business International has a long association with the world of intelligence, covert actions, and attempts to penetrate the radical left, including Students for a Democratic Society, it's reasonable to wonder if the inscrutable Mr. Obama is concealing something about his own association with this world. Pum, pum, pum. Adding to the wonder is the fact that his mama, Ann Dunham, that's Barack Obama's mama, Ann Dunham, had been associated during the 1970s and 80s as employee, consultant, grantee, or student with at least 5 organizations with intimate CIA connections during the Cold War. That's right, Barack Obama's mama was a CIA agent. I'm saying it, man, that's the way it is. Also associated with the Ford Foundation Agency for International Development, the Asia Foundation, Developmental Alternatives, Inc., and the East-West Center of Hawaii. Much of this time, she worked as an anthropologist in Indonesia and Hawaii, being in good position to gather intelligence about local communities. As one example of the CIA, you know what? You ever go to the CIA fact book online? Just Google CIA fact book. It is so awesome. They've got all the resources, all the GDPs for the countries, the types of governments they are. It's great. I mean, like, if you really... it's the best geography website out there, in my opinion. Like, screw the rest. Nothing better than the CIA gathering geographical information for us. Isn't it wonderful? They're so nice. As one example of the CIA connections of these organizations, consider the disclosure by John Gilligan. John Gilligan. I'm sorry, because it's just like Gilligan's Island just popped into my head. It's like, just sit right back and you hear a tale. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. The heat is melting us. Anyhow, what did the Carter administration say here? I'm trying to read this article. At one time, many aid field offices were infiltrated from top to bottom with CIA people. From top to bottom, huh? The idea was to plan operatives in every kind of activity we had overseas. Government, volunteer, religious, every kind. And Development Alternatives, Inc. is the organization for whom Alan Gross was working when arrested in Cuba and charged with being part of the ongoing American operation to destabilize the Cuban government. It's just the way it is. Cute girl report. I wish you could see her. It's radio, but what are you going to do? All right, we're reading the news. That's what we're going to do. I just got done reading about Barack Obama's mama. And we're going to move into, if the U.S. loses Syria, the U.S. loses its empire. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be hard to make light of that one. But I have to. All right, wait. I'm going to be station ID, commercial, take 2 sips of coffee, and then I will read this freaking article for your enjoyment. Hopefully you're enjoying it. All right, be right back.
You're listening to RiverWestRadio.com.
The kitchen is the heart of the home, but at Monsanto, we're a megalithic agricultural group attempting to destroy farmers all across your country. We bring you horrible foods that attack your stomach lining, DNA, give you kidney and liver failure. Monsanto, bringing Franken foods to your family at home. Don't you just hate us? Say no to GMO. Are you tired of commercials always telling you that you're tired? When you know you're tired because you wake up early and go to bed late, and every moment in between is spent trying to figure out how you're going to make the next dollar. Well, you're not alone. Millions of Americans are walking around in a sleep-deprived, zombie-like state, amplified by psych meds and pharmaceuticals found in the drinking water. So just be glad you're not one of them, unless you are. In which case, I'm sorry you had to hear this. But wait, there's more. If we keep at this current pace, we will surely lose our democratic republic and soon be standing in food lines for the poisonous rations the new totalitarian government will hand out. Don't delay. Get involved. Get informed. And we're back. This is Breaking Down the News. I'm Michael Wordsworth, breaking down the news on this Friday edition. What is it, July 6th already? It is 2012. Half the year gone by, over half the year. Nothing's happened so far. The world is still intact. Of course, I can't say nothing's happened so far. You know, I tell you the truth, people are having a pretty good time these days, despite all the suckiness in the world. I see people out there smiling, chilling, hanging. That's what we do. Some of them coming from work, some of them going to work, some of them coming from the East Coast to the West Coast, and the West Coast to the East Coast. Some of them headed down south, up north, and then from north down south. I often ask these travelers, like, why don't we just all stay in one place? Do we just get together? I don't know. It's a traveling thing. It's what we do. Okay, before I get on with the depressing news, I was going to read, if the U.S. loses Syria, the U.S. loses its empire. We're going to lose it anyhow. American middle class is going to be decimated, and it's because we were fat, bloated pigs that didn't pay attention to our issues. That's right. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying it like it is. It is. I mean, you know, in some ways, myself included, you know, too soft, too much easy living, life's too good. I try to get upset, but it just doesn't work for long because life's just too good, isn't it? Maybe it ain't for you, though. In which case, I'm sorry. What can I say? Anarchy, man. Anarchy. So, before I read that Empire Syrian stuff, let's just like take a nice break on my voice, and I want to do an interview, a nice long interview. So I'm going to call up David Rockefeller here. Oh yeah, he's going to give me a nice break. I'm going to call up David Rockefeller, David Evil Rockefeller. We got him on the line. He's holding here. So let's just go to him, right? All right, cool. I'll be right back after interviewing Mr. Rockefeller. Once again, the Bilderberg meeting is happening today in Chantilly, Virginia, where many of Europe's top bankers and technocrats are gathering in secret to plan the global economy for the next 12 months. To get a deeper view of this, Breaking Down the News has met with David Rockefeller in Virginia. Mr. Rockefeller, thank you for joining us.
Yes, of course. I'm sure this is a big moment in your pathetic life as a news talk show host.
Now, do you prefer that I call you Evil, or just Mr. Rockefeller, or David Evil Rockefeller?
Ooh, that sounds good, yes. Call me David Evil Rockefeller. I like the sound of that.
Very well, Mr. Evil Rockefeller. Now, Bilderberg, the not-so-secret meeting taking place this week...
Now, hold on there a second. We are grateful to the Washington Post, Time Magazine, and other great publications whose directors have attended our meetings and respected their promises of discretion for almost 40 years. But now, since the New York Times betrayed me, I would like to retract my praise for the cowardly media outlets that leaked our little get-togethers to the mainstream. Boo! Hiss! Hiss! It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subjected to the lights of publicity during those years. But the world is more sophisticated and prepared to march toward a world government. the supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national auto-determination practiced in past centuries.
But Mr. Evil...
That's David Evil Rockefeller to you.
My apologies.
No, you should get it right. You're a reporter for Lucifer's sake.
Pardon me, David Evil Rockefeller.
That's better. Normally, we hate to be forced out of the shadows, but some fat bastard keeps blowing a bullhorn at my hotel room all weekend, shouting, the answer to 1984 is 1776 or something like that. I mean, what the Hades does that mean? Well, this unruly blowhard has got the people all up in arms.
Well, yes, the people are revolting.
They most certainly are.
Pardon?
The people, yes, they are most revolting.
No, I meant the people are revolting against these secret meetings taking place now that the public has become aware of them.
Oh, that. Well, of course, but they don't pay attention. They don't listen. Most don't even know who I am or what I do.
That isn't true. Not of the young people these days. They don't see much of a future ahead of them because of men like you and the Bilderberg attendees. The younger generations are starting to really pay attention.
Ah, but that is exactly why I created Justin Bieber. Made him out of some spare parts I had laying around.
I would still say the tide is turning, and the people are waking up to your corrupt, technocratic system.
This present window of opportunity, during which a truly peaceful and independent world order might be built, will not be open for long. We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the new world order.
All right, calm down, calm down. At this year's meeting of the Bilderbergers, you've got some big-time European heavyweights there. Dr. Joseph Ackerman, Angela Merkel, Herman Van Rompuy, all meeting with you to figure out what to do with the economy for the next 12 months. Now, if Greece is to leave the Eurozone, the rumor is that the Bilderbergs are panicking.
I don't think Greece is going to leave the Euro. Germany doesn't want it to leave the Euro, and Greece signed off on this memorandum with Troika, as it's called, which is effectively turning their sovereignty over to outside forces, and it's up to Germany, not the Greek people. They lost their sovereignty. I don't see that happening. It's not up to them. It's not their choice. Germany wants to keep Greece, to keep the euro cheap. If it wasn't for Greece, the Deutschmark would trade like the Swiss franc. It would be 20 or 30% higher, and their whole export model would crumble. Right now, Germany is making it out like bandits. They're making money the old-fashioned way.
By earning it?
No, by stealing it. Since the reunification of Germany, something that wouldn't have happened without the euro, Germany has become a superpower once again.
Basically, it's a leveraged buyout. All the assets of Greece are being taken by outsiders. And those are good income-producing assets like shipping, tourism, lotteries.
You are forgetting the gold mines. Don't forget the gold mines.
Right, gold mines. Those were privatized and sold off, correct?
Yes, approximately 111 tons of gold. I'm going to melt it all down and make little figurines of Justin Bieber that the kids can pray to.
But the IMF is bankrupt and they're lending money to Greece? They had to borrow trillions to execute a leveraged buyout.
Ah, but the real trick is getting the Greeks to sign on to this debt. Get it? We borrow the money to lend to them and then take over their sovereignty as we buy out their assets. It's brilliant, simply brilliant.
And then those assets go back to the IMF creditors.
They want the fees. Christine Lagarde says, just give me the fees. Give me my salary and you can rob the Greeks blind for all I care.
Evil. Truly evil.
That is why I am called David Evil Rockefeller.
So, it's like Mitt Romney when he was at Bain Capital. They just look for small companies and gut them. And in a like manner, Greece is just a small country that you can seize with a hostile takeover.
It is a Jimmy Goldsmith model, done on a bigger scale. Same thing. You pledge the assets of a country like Greece to secure loans to take over the country. Sell the assets, keep the difference, make lots of money. The people lose their sovereignty, their jobs, and I get to add another platinum-covered toilet in my horse stable.
So these Bilderberg meetings are a great way for you and the world's leaders to meet behind the scenes with no transparency and just basically decide the fate of any given economy.
Well, yes, and up until now it was a secret, but no matter. It was no coincidence that we took Ireland, Greece, Portugal, and then Spain in that order. This year, the big question is, where do we go next? France? Maybe UK is an interesting choice. It's similar to how you peasants buy houses, but we get entire countries for pennies on the dollar, you see.
The IMF, since the 60s, has preyed on Africa, then South America, then Southeast Asia.
Yes, well, while America was obsessed with Iraq, we were very busy taking over those regions.
But China threw you a curveball. They had a different model.
Well, China did good business, and that is inconsistent with Bilderberger policy. However, the U.S. can't really tangle with China because China is now the U.S. biggest creditor, and the whole thing is a sticky situation.
I would like to read you a quote from Bill Moyers about you. May I?
Ooh, yes. If it's about me, Mommy always talked about me and I liked it. Talk about me, talk about me.
David Evil Rockefeller is the most conspicuous representative today of the ruling class, a multinational fraternity of men who shaped the global economy and managed the flow of its capital. Rockefeller was born into it, and he has made the most of it. But some critics see a vast international conspiracy he considers a circumstance of life and just another day's work. In the world of Dave Rockefeller, it's hard to tell where business ends and politics begins.
It is. It really is. Some days I wonder how history will look back on my takeover of the United States, and they will ask that very question and just don't know how I would answer even now.
So you admit that you want to take over the United States?
For more than a century, ideological extremists at either end of the political spectrum have seized upon well-publicized incidents, such as my encounter with Castro, to attack the Rockefeller family for inordinate influence they claim we wield over American political and economic institutions. Some even believe they are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I'm proud of it.
Wait, didn't you write that in your personal memoirs?
Ooh, you're a smart one, Mr. Wordsworth.
Well, thank you, I guess.
No, I hate that. Hate it. The second we gain control of America, people like you will have to go. And by go, I mean disappeared with black hoods over your heads. Now that is scary. You should be scared. Very scared.
I am not afraid.
Oh, you will be. You will be.
This has been an exclusive interview with David Evil Rockefeller, Chantilly, Virginia. I'm Michael Wordsworth. Back in a moment.
listening to RiverWestRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Mr. Smiley. No, I'm not. I'm actually Mr. Frowny. No, I'm pretty happy. I'm Michael Wordsworth, breaking down the news with Wordsworth listening to. And that's true. It really is. Try not to fluff it up, but I got to make it lighter. I'm definitely trying to make the news more easygoing. So here we go. I got to get through this article. The U.S. loses Syria, the U.S. loses its empire. This is by Tony Cartalucci from Infowars.com, July 6, 2012. The U.S. increasingly unhinged rhetoric reached a new level of absurdity this week as U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called on Western nations and their Arab proxies to, quote, make it clear that Russia and China will pay a price because they are holding up progress. And Hillary says this in regards to the U.S. premeditated campaign of terrorism and violent regime change in Syria. It was made public as early as 2007 by Seymour Hersh in his report, The Redirection, published in the New Yorker, that the U.S., Israel, Saudi Arabia, and others were gathering, funding, arming, and deploying a front of violent sectarian extremists, many with ties to Al-Qaeda, to undermine, destabilize, and eventually lead to the overthrow of the governments of Lebanon and Syria and Iran. The violent campaign was rolled out publicly in the wake of a similarly premeditated geopolitical ploy, the so-called Arab Spring, and it has since then been clearly exposed as the work of violent terrorist networks. Ironically, these terrorist networks are those allegedly the impetus of the war on terror, now paradoxically being funded, armed, and politically backed by the West. It was reported that Libyan terrorists, led by Abdul Hakim Balaj, commander of the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, a U.S. State Department-listed foreign terrorist organization, had joined the so-called Free Syrian Army, along with sectarian extremists from Iraq who specialize in the indiscriminate terrorist bombings now ravaging Syria. In fact, the true nature of Syria's rebels has become so well known that recent attempts to sway public opinion with continued but unsubstantiated reports of atrocities aimed at demonizing the Syrian government have been met with skepticism, doubt, and even indignation by the public. Yay, public, you did something right for once. Giving nations like Russia and China not only the opportunity to defy Western dictates, but a moral imperative to do so as well. I was going to say, just please, I'll keep reading this article, but if there's anybody out there listening live right now, for God's sake, can you call in and just freaking say hi? I don't know why. I just want to make sure the phone lines work. Let me make sure. Hang on. The number's 414-935-2951. I mean, if you can add 2 cents to anything I'm saying today, it'd be appreciated. Otherwise, we could just open up another topic. It's just without the public feedback, it's just not the same. I mean, we need to have a dialogue. I can't just be talking one way here. So, but anyhow, 414-935-2951. We'll see. Most people listen to this on the archive, which is kind of, it's hard right in this 3:30 hour. Most people are at work. Hopefully you're listening to the previous archive thing, but I'm reading about Syria and just the BS over Syria and Iran. We insist, again, yet another government is an evil dictator while we have our own evil dictator, Barack Obama, go around policing everything, destabilizing everything. Man, I swear. Anyhow, collapsing legitimacy leads to collapsing empires. The global hegemony of Wall Street and London has been built behind a facade of human rights, freedom, and democracy. As these principles are eroded back home in the West, their use for dressing up otherwise naked imperialism, corporate monopolization, and military aggression abroad has become overt and increasingly ineffective. While the U.S. Secretary of State attempts to blame Russia and China for holding up progress in the West campaign of premeditated destabilization in Syria, It's more likely that the West's own loss of legitimacy is the true reason it has not successfully convinced the world to go along with what is increasingly appearing to be a self-serving and very unattainable agenda. Should the U.S. fail in its attempts to overthrow the government of Syria, and quite likely even if it does manage to succeed at this late hour, so much damage has been done to the West's credibility, as well as to the credibility of its allegedly independent institutions, that future gambits will be even more difficult to execute. As the West, that was a very complicated way of saying, like, if we fail in Syria, I doubt we'll be able to pull it off because the public ain't buying the bull. And here's the article. Maintaining an empire relies on an immense global infrastructure the West still possesses, but it is an infrastructure that is meeting competition from not only rival hegemonies, but from within individual nations as well, on both a national and grassroots level. Empires are also built on psychological factors such as faith in one's institutions and fear of one's military prowess. The West has been increasingly faltering in all respects in a world where these concepts are becoming increasingly challenged by shifting social, economic, and technical paradigms. What the West should be doing is positioning itself for this changing world. Instead, it's clinging to a crumbling empire, scrambling to build a global paradigm rendered antiquated long before it has even been implemented. Boycotting the corporate financier interests behind this attempt at establishing global hegemony will accelerate and ensure its failure, while resolving ourselves to create genuine institutions on a local and national level for and by the people will ensure that we are not left in disarray once these corporate globalist institutions are rendered moot. Moot, I love that word. It kind of means rendered pointless. All right, thank you, Tony Cartolucci's. His article post first appeared in his blog, Land Destroyer, if you want to check that out. Not a bad article. We appreciate your writing. What do we got now? New TSA policy ordering travelers to freeze on command. Okay, cool, because then after I read this one, then I'll play my little TSA piece at the DFW airport, and I can take yet another break. I love those breaks, actually. I got to come up with more pre-recorded material. Makes it so much easier. It really does. All right, wait. I got to do the news thing because that tells you that it's a news thing. New TSA policy, ordering travelers to freeze on command. Bizarre power trip behavior of federal agency reaches new level of craziness. This article by Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com. If you thought the bizarre power trip behavior of the TSA couldn't get any crazier, think again. According to a friend of political commentator Lou Rockwell, the federal agency is now ordering travelers passing through security to freeze on command. Explaining how he had arranged with his family to split up as they were passing through airport security, the correspondent, whose story is posted at LouRockwell.com, explains how he heard a commotion from a different security lane. We heard a freeze, or something like this coming from the output side or false security where my wife was, followed by further barking of commands from where I was. I couldn't see much, he says. It turns out, he continues to say, it turns out they were doing a new drill. They want all passengers to freeze on command. My wife told me later that she didn't follow this order fast enough, so the subsequent barks I heard were directed at her. So that's how it is. You're a dog, and when they say freeze, you're supposed to freeze. Because we're so worried about terrorists, we have to become wussies in the airport. You wussy-fied freaks of control freaks. The TSA stands for total suckasses, in my opinion. And I think I could say that on air. I mean, you can, I'm pretty sure I can say that. We're trying to get our FCC license, so, you know, I don't know. I might have to curtail some of it. I don't say the F word. I mean, I guess, you know, it's like George Carlin said, that list of words that you can't say. Anyhow, I'm reading about the TSA and just how they suck. They're now asking us to freeze on command like the police. I'm pretty sure the police never say freeze anymore. That's like just, or maybe they never did. That's like in the movies. They don't say freeze. I mean, what the hell? That's not a command. A human being cannot turn 32 degrees Fahrenheit and remain motionless at that temperature. That's what it would mean to freeze. Why don't you say something like, halt and desist your movement, or stop moving, or, I don't know, Akchung, where's the papers, please? We have order in the airport. Sig Heil. It's you freaking control freaks. Anyhow, this guy goes on to say he was standing in the airport with his wife and going through security, and she's getting screamed at, freeze, and she didn't freeze fast enough like a good little slave. Good for you, lady. And he goes on to say, I think back to when I was a child, playing and wrestling in the back of the station wagon on long trips, no seat belts or child seats. Now we get yelled at in the airport. I don't feel safer. Well, okay. Actually, I remember traveling in an airport. You could smoke cigarettes. Everybody you met there were the happiest people. They really, really were, man. Everybody was going somewhere or to somewhere. And, cute girl report. Can't do it, I mean, it's the radio. Then there she goes. All right. Well, in all seriousness, the TSA sucks. So, if accurate, the new policy represents yet another pointless exercise of power that seems designed to achieve little else than harassing travelers and treating them like prisoners by aggressively demanding immediate subservience. That's it, your dog, boy. As we reported yesterday, the TSA is now demanding the right to test drinks purchases by passengers. I don't know if you read that. They have the right to test your drink now. I don't know what for, booze. I don't know why, but yeah, let me see. The new policy serves only to further inconvenience travelers who have already gone through humiliating grope downs and body scanners. In a subsequent response, the federal agency argued that the bizarre measure was important because unpredictable measures are necessary to snare would-be criminals and terrorists. Is that true? Because most of the crime occurring in the freaking airports is you TSA workers. Yeah, that's right. You total suckasses are stealing cash out of the suitcases of travelers. In the case of LA County, you're dealing drugs through the security gates. Many of you are pedophiles, child molesting freaking pedophiles, with tinfoil badges and an overbloated sense of self-importance. Well, screw you all. Presumably, these unpredictable measures now also include barking, degrading orders at travelers as if they were misbehaving middle school children on a class trip. As a TSA whistleblower told InfoWars last month, far from just performing the role of screeners at the security gate, the TSA is now empowering its employees to fulfill all manner of invasive tasks. Soon they're going to be... No, I bet you... Do they do cavity searches? I think they do. God, I need to know that one, because I'm sure, man... Like, you ain't cavity searching my ass just because I want to get on a plane. You people are sick freaking... I mean, I don't want to live in a country or even to fly on a plane if this is what... The terrorists have won. They have turned us into a nation of wussy punks overnight because of their... And they're not even real terrorists. I'm sure there's actually some Muslim guy out there that wants to blow up something. But it doesn't mean that we need to act like such wussies. What has happened to you people? You suck. You suck totally. Anyhow, go get a job at the TSA. If you're a control freak, that's where you need to go. You get to molest people all day long in the interest of national security. What did the whistleblower say? Here we got, thank God for whistleblowers. He says that he must work for them. We're doing patrols in the parking lot with dogs. We're even going as far as out to the train station because the train station is connected to the airport here. We have guys walking around the train station, walking around the rental cars. We're inspecting cars coming into the parking garage. I mean, we fully expanded. We're no longer just at the gate and just at the security checkpoint. Yeah, soon they're going to be on our highways, our malls, our sporting events. Some of them already are. I mean, that's just the way you got Viper squads on the highways. TSA dicks coming around, you know, unprovoked, unlawful traffic checks. Fourth Amendment violation for sure. Well, we have contacted the TSA to ascertain whether the orders for travelers to freeze on command was a one-off incident, what its purpose was, and whether such behavior will form part of the TSA security procedures in the future. Don't have any answers back on that, but Paul Joseph Watson wrote this article. He's the editor and writer for PrisonPlanet.com. He's also the author of Order Out of Chaos. Watson is also a regular fill-in host for the Alex Jones Show and InfoWars Nightly News. Nightly News. I have a nose for news. I do. My nose seeks the news, and then I sniff it out like a dog, ready to stop and heal whenever a TSA worker yells, "Freeze!" From now on, I will instantly turn my body to 32 degrees Fahrenheit and remain motionless. On your command. That's all you have to do. All right, in other news, we're going to talk about Israel plans Lebanon invasion after Syria falls. I got to do the little news thing about that. All right, here we go. Israel plans Lebanon invasion after Syria falls. This article from Kurt Nemo, Infowars.com. Following the inevitable collapse of Syria, Israel will invade Lebanon, and the damage will be enormous, a senior officer told Haaretz on Thursday. This quote from an IDF officer, I don't even know how to pronounce, how would you impersonate an IDF officer? What is an IDF officer? Brigadier General Herzi Havi, I guess he's a brigadier general. All right, I'll try. The quote from this IDF officer: "The destruction will be greater in Lebanon than in Israel, and the amount of explosives which will fall there will be far more than what we will see fall here. We will need to be strong and aggressive." You think it's good for the military to be strong and aggressive? I thought that was the whole point of a military. They're seldom weak and passive, aren't they? Seldom. IDF Brigadier General Herzi Halevi said blame for the coming Israeli invasion will be attributed to Hezbollah due to the Shiite paramilitary organization's establishment of bases in villages and towns located in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah was organized in response to 18 years of Israeli military occupation of southern Lebanon. It has since established itself as a major political broker with veto power in Lebanon's parliament and control of 11 of 30 seats in the cabinet. Israel claims Syria is transferring missiles and chemical weapons to Hezbollah. Israel has indicted it is prepared to use... Now, that's not my fault. I don't even know if that sentence makes sense. Israel has indicted it is prepared to use military force to prevent Hezbollah from maintaining Syrians' weaponry. I don't know. Oh, no, the problem is not the author of this article. The problem is my own heat-melted brain. The word is not indicted. It's indicated. It's like one letter A throws off indicted and indicated. Okay, so now the sentence shall make total sense. Israel has indicated it is prepared to use military force to prevent Hezbollah from obtaining Syria's weaponry. Major General Yair Golan, head of the Israel's Northern Command that borders Lebanon and Syria, told the UPI on May 31st. Who's the UPI? I'm not sure. But they told him that's the case. Halevi said Israel blames Syria for terrorist activities on its northern border and is preparing accordingly, according to Jonathan Urich of the IDF. Halevi adds that the IDF... Oh, I'm sorry, I got to do the general again. Okay, he's like this. The IDF is preparing seriously and professionally for another war in Lebanon. The response will need to be sharper, harder, and in some ways, very, very violent. Okay, and he goes on to warn, I said general. Okay, I'm impersonating the general. These are his quotes in the article. The Gladstone report will pale in comparison to what will be here next time, Halevi warned, referring to the 2009 UN report documenting Israel war crimes in the Gaza Strip. Israel's Operation Cast Lead, also known as the Gaza massacre was later determined to be a serious violation of international humanitarian law. The July 2006 invasion of Lebanon killed over 6,000 people and displaced nearly 1 million. Israel, with its active support of the United States, decided to invade the country and destroy Hezbollah, which received support from Syria. Israel did not manage to decisively defeat the popular Shiite group and retreated the following month. On June 29, the Joint Task Force Lebanon, a U.S.-European Command operational unit assigned responsibility for military support to the American Embassy in Beirut, began Angel Curator 2. What does that mean? Began Angel Curator 2. And that's the name of the exercise designed to simulate the evacuation of civilian and United Nations interim forces in Lebanon, personnel and their families. As a result of natural events such as earthquakes, floods, and environmental catastrophes, according to the Gazzettino, an Italian newspaper. Yeah. That's what we report in Italy. Yeah. All right. What do we got here for the rest of the news? We've got spy drones buzzes journalists secluded home. That's kind of, you know what a spy drone is? It's like a little flying robot that spies on you. It's remote controlled or automated, like those. It's like a smaller version of those big drones that we got flying over Pakistan. Getting ready to put 30,000 drones over America. Boy, what a free country, huh? We're so free we need 30,000 drones spying on us constantly. God, I mean, what is freedom? You guys even know what freedom is? Nah, I could go on a rampage on that one, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just going to read you this little article about spy drones, buzzes journalists secluded home. That's right. WorldNet Daily editor and prominent Obama administration critic Joseph Farah revealed how his secluded property was buzzed by a spy drone. Part of what Farah feels is a war being waged by the administration against its political adversaries. What does he say? He said, Farah, I'm taking my dog for a walk, and guess what I see? Right over the tree line above my head is a drone. Well, that would freak me out, wouldn't it? Adding that the drone was low in the sky and sounded like a lawnmower. A big noisy helicopter. He had one of those little helicopter drones. It should just freak you out right now hearing this report that there are flying helicopter drones spying on us. I mean, not everybody yet, but I mean, that's just part of our control freak society. Part of it. Excuse me. I have to drink some of this refreshing Synergy organic and raw kombucha. I prefer the Mystic Mango. And is that a plug? I'm not even plugging it really. It's just I like this stuff, and I don't drink soda water. I drink a lot of coffee, and now I'm going to drink Synergy organic and raw kombucha Mystic Mango. Listen to me enjoy this. All right, here we go. Tastes like pickles and mango, don't it? All right, going on about this poor man that's getting freaked out by a flying drone helicopter over his property. That would freak me out. Farah, being lighthearted, he joked that the drone was probably stalking him because he was a terrorist. Given the fact that a recent report funded by the Department of Homeland Security put out by the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism listed Americans who are reverent of individual liberty as extreme right-wing terrorists. Come say hi. You guys should totally come in. Anyhow, it'd be great. All right, I'm trying to lure people on the sidewalk to come in and talk about politics. We'll see how this goes. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll find out. Oh, here they come. Dun, 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 dun. You guys want to say a word on the radio?
What would I say?
Do you know anything about what's going on in the world? You know, that is the world, though. You know? Your world.
I think my world's pretty sweet.
Well, here. Come here. Grab mic number 1. Yeah, totally. Here, just you can hold it like a freaking American Idol star. All right,
Feel like one.
All right, now do a level check. All right.
I'm doing a level check.
All right, Cole. Do you want to say your name?
My name's Leif.
Leif, as in L-I-E-F.
L-E-I-F, like Leif Erikson.
Nice, the famous Nordic traveler dude.
Yeah, dude, he probably discovered America pretty early.
You know what? It's a toss-up between him and the Chinese. I heard like they discovered it 3,000 years ago. I didn't know that. It's kind of freaked me out. I thought I knew who discovered America, and turns out I was wrong. So did Leif actually travel over here way before Columbus, that evil bastard?
Totally.
Did Leif Erikson subjugate and poison and kill all the Indians?
You know, I'd imagine he was a piece of shit just like his dad.
No way, really?
Yeah, Eric the Red was like a mondo piece of shit. Like,
oh, no way.
Like
see, now
rape
that's
and
kind
pillage.
Well, I guess. See, I suppose if you were part of his tribe, that was pretty cool. You know, but, I mean, if you weren't, it would just totally suck, wouldn't it?
No, totally. I mean, I just generally think Vikings are cooler than Chris Columbus for some reason.
They got the horns and the bullets and the
it's definitely
shields.
the aesthetic.
You know what I heard is that a lot of the Vikings were actually, it was kind of like, how could I put it, like, kind of like fake terrorist Al-Qaeda organizations that like actually, or pirates. A better example is pirates. That there really weren't these raiding hordes of Vikings. They were actually, these Norwegians were like pretty industrious. They farmed and, you know, were really good at building towns and good hardworking people. And then like pirates were going around and they'd put on the Viking costumes. Now this is what I heard. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to verify this in history, but a lot of that Viking rampage was just sort of like bad PR or an excuse to kind of cover up. But I don't know. We may never know. We never. Right now I'm reading this article about this dude that had like one of those helicopter drones with the video camera. And they're not too stealthy though. They're like as loud as a lawnmower. And like he goes out in his backyard and he's like looks up over the tree line and there's this drone looking back at him. You know, the thing is he's a reporter and apparently he's been saying stuff that people don't like, so they like to intimidate us. What do you think about the total suck-ass TSA? Do you ever go flying? You don't fly much, do you?
Oh, I mean, the lines are incredibly long and, my mom, like, she thought it would be really funny to whisper to my uncle that she had a bomb, and then she got like strip searched for like 2 hours, like 45-year-old woman take it back like strip search.
Isn't it sick? No, they didn't do a cavity search, right?
I don't think so, but you know, I had another friend who like knew someone who had to take a dump, and he said, I gotta drop a bomb, and they got arrested at the airport.
I was just bitching because I was saying we've become such a nation of wussies that we need to have these control freaks groping us in the interest of national security. Is it?
I don't think it's anything new. It's just like getting more apparent, and so people are getting angrier about it, but I think it's been this way for a long time.
See, when I went to high school, we didn't have like security checks and metal detectors, and like now it seems like all the institutions are training us to be prisoner slaves. Line up, get groped, get like we can't be trusted with anything.
I mean, that's what we're founded on, like prisoners and slaves. It's just like, you know, it's getting more technological. Right.
It's a technocracy.
Sure, yeah.
An evil technocratic dictatorship.
God, looking at the ceiling of Walmart, it's just like giant black eyes looking at you everywhere. Those huge-ass cameras.
Well, now they need them there because if any place people are going to go rob, it'd be Walmart because we all hate them pricks, you know, it just kind of...
Well, it's not just that. It's like they monitor most closely like the stores where poor people go because they assume that poor people are going to steal things. So you go to like mom and pop shops, like you're not going to get caught stealing anything very easily. But if you go to Walmart or like a poor grocery store or something, like you're gonna get arrested.
Well, I mean, I this is not my area of expertise. I don't shoplift at all. Mm-hmm. It's not that if I did, I would take everything that I stole from Walmart, pile it up on the roof, and burn the whole freaking place down. Oh crap! Now I just said that. Can I say that? That sucks. See, now if that happens, I'm gonna get blamed for it. But like, man. Well, anyhow, but I'm totally against like robbing mom and pop stores because like that's all we got left. There's like they're a dying breed. They
Yeah.
hardly exist anymore. Main Street has just been crushed by Wall Street lately. So don't rob the mom and pop stores. If you're out there, give those guys a break. Rob only the corporate.
We're all fucked.
Yeah, well, what else is new?
What is that?
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. So have you heard about Syria? Have you heard about what we've been doing over there?
You really want to embarrass me by asking me those questions?
No,
I've been in like bumfuck Michigan for a week.
Okay, no, and that's not. I'm asking it to just kind of like feel out what the public, anybody, everybody, like, what are you hearing? And I mean, just like. I don't blame you for not paying attention to the news because they're just lying to you anyhow.
Yeah.
So why would you want the facts and figures of BS when what's the point of it, you know?
I mean, you know, it's important, but what can I do about it over here? But, pretend to give money to people.
I ask people all the time on the show, like, if you can't do anything, if you know you're so broke, all you can do is pay attention. If you can't do that, just don't believe the lie.
Or just like take care of your friends and like be a good person to the people around you.
Definitely. But I don't know. It bites because like I pay attention to this stuff all the time. In fact, I do a news show here. I mean, that's why like 3 days a week I'm on here for like 5.5 hours a week, and all I do is read. I go through all the news and I kind of triage the relevance, sort through all the BS, and then try to bring to people. I break down the news, try to bring you like the most important pressing topics of the day so that you don't have to, you know, and believe me, I go through it with a fine-tooth comb. I'm not like no propaganda, and in fact, if there is, I try to reverse the spin and just kind of educate people on how they're lying to you. And then the hard part is making it funny, making it, you know, just kind of like, I don't want to turn into Jon Stewart or something, but actually I think he does an okay job. I mean, of course, he has professional writers for his staff, and
It's definitely working for him.
it is, man. Did you see the one? You probably didn't, but they just did one on how soda water is now more illegal than pot in New York.
Oh.
I know. See, now this is not necessarily an important issue, but one of interest. Yeah, if you get caught with the 32-ounce Coca-Cola, baby, you're going to jail. Okay? Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How does that make sense?
It's you know what? It's part of this. It's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to just mess with your head so that they can shove more crap down the tube.
Huh.
I mean, like, see what they did is simultaneously while making a 32-ounce glass of soda illegal, it's a $200 fine you get for the soda, okay? If you got that thing. If you got less than 28 grams of pot, it's a $100 fine. So, like...
Why is soda illegal? Like, that's my most important question right now.
It's because of obesity laws. See, they're done messing with the smokers, so now they're going to move on to fat people, and after that, they're going to move on to
Oh man, we're gonna have a soda black market. Oh, it's gonna be so fucking funny.
At least the 32-ounce black market. You know, it's not like they're making soda legal. They just want you to drink it in 8-ounce glasses at a time.
Huh.
If you drink 4 8-ounce glasses, you're cool. But if you put them all in one big soda thing, it's like illegal. It's a $200 fine.
Wow.
I know, man. I guess
It just cracks me up at this point.
it's got to crack you up. All this stuff's got to crack you up.
Anymore.
I was reading about Barack Obama's mama.
Thank you.
I just love saying that because it rhymes.
It looked like you did.
Barack Obama's mama. I swear, man. Turns out she's a CIA agent. You know, and the whole thing is like, we're wondering if this guy was actually had a mama or if he was in a test tube. I mean, the guy's kind of a...
What?
Well, no, for real, because Obama is like, he's turning into a bigger control freak. He's lied about every campaign promise he's made.
He's a president, dude.
And I'm supposed to be impressed by that?
No.
Okay, cool.
I think it's not too surprising.
He's a teleprompting reading fool. It's basically like he actually doesn't run Jack in this country.
No.
I don't know who does run Jack. Jack seems to be floating around.
It's floating around, dude. It's floating around. It's out of our hands at this point.
Yeah, it is, I guess, to a certain extent, because we don't make the laws and we don't enforce them. Mao Zedong said laws are enforced by the tip of a gun. And the golden rule still remains. He who has the gold rules. I don't know. What are you doing in the summer? Just
I don't know. Being drunk too much.
Being drunk too much. A lot of that going on.
Traveling, hanging out with my friends, trying to figure out how not to be drunk too much. I still hang out with my friends.
Oh, you can, you know, that's what weed is for. You know, it kind of gives you a break in between the booze. That's what most people...
But then when do I get things done? I'm either drunk or sitting around like smoking weed, being really high.
No, you got to be like that guy. How could I smoke weed all day? It's all I do.
Every day.
Yeah, I can't do that guy. It's kind of, but he just cracked
Juicy J. Juicy J's coming to town. Everyone's got to go see Juicy J. That's what I'm all about right now.
Where's Juicy J playing?
Everywhere, all over the United States.
No, I mean, where is he playing when he comes to our sweet little town here?
I don't know. I don't live here. I wish I did. I would follow Juicy J every day.
And why? What's your favorite thing about Juicy J there?
I don't know. He's hilarious. He's from 3-6 Mafia.
Okay. Is he a comedian?
No, he's a rapper.
Oh, okay. Does he rap about...
He has a line that says, "Real hustlers don't sleep. We taking naps." Which, you know, you can't get more gangster than that. Take a little nap. You don't have to sleep all night. You're gangsters. Just take a nap.
That's kind of interesting. It's kind of like, in between gang banging, fucking hoes, and distributing drugs, I like to take a nap. That's right. You got a problem with
power
that?
nap. Then you can party all night. You just take a little nap.
Party all night and take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I suppose that'll work.
He drinks enough codeine that he needs to be taking naps all day long.
Oh, I see.
Double
you know
cups.
what? Sounds to me like he's already asleep. You don't need a nap.
Yep. He's messed up.
Yeah, so what does he basically rap about? Like how you should be materialistic and wear a lot of bling and treat chicks like bitches and hoes?
Yeah,
and,
do the bitches and hoes.
Now, do you think that's a good message out there?
No, but it's hilarious. I love it.
Oh, I see. From sort of kind of like, is he white or black? I got it curious.
I don't know. Why does that matter?
It matters because, like, it drives me nuts when little white kids act like black gangsters and they're wannabes, and it's kind of like, it's not even your culture, so why are you going there?
Yeah, he's black. He's from Tennessee. He's from 3-6 Mafia.
Is he a real gangster?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I mean, what does it take to you gotta get shot nowadays to be a real gangster?
I don't know if he's been shot. He's more on the, like, druggy side of rap. I mean, he talks about toting his gun, but he cares more about getting fucked up.
Overall, a very positive message for the kids out there. That's definitely, you need to get messed up.
You brought me in here.
No. I wanted to see. I mean, it's kind of like taking a sampling. There's 360 million people out there, and you came in the door and sat down and gave
said, I'm going to talk to you about Juicy J.
Well, you know, and now we got to talk about Juicy J because that's the topic that you brought up. I didn't even hear of Juicy J till you mentioned him. There's so many of these guys out here.
Well, I'm
now.
glad to give him some exposure. He really deserves it.
There you go. So he's who is the one? There's a couple of white rappers that are really
Eminem.
Well, Eminem. But who's that one guy? Kind of like Atmosphere or
A$AP Rock.
It's not the one I was thinking of, but that'll work.
Brother Ali.
Okay, name some good white rappers. The guys that ain't all like punk bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. I mean, like the ones that you know.
That sounds like something from Hustle and Flow.
No, that was from the Bitch National Anthem by Run DMC, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I used to listen to DOS Effects a lot. You ever
hell yeah.
DOS Effects? That's good high energy. Those guys, I like those guys, really.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're still around.
I don't know.
But you've heard of them, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing? How the hell can we hear about all this? It's like all archived on YouTube or something.
The internet.
The interwebs, yes.
Yep.
They connect everything.
Amazing.
My God, it's Friday at 5:28. I got to go to the 6 o'clock hour, and I'm just like reading it. I mean, like, check out some of the spy drones. Then I'm going to read about the beatings will continue until morale improves. 10 ways that Obama is killing jobs in America. My God, that's just depressing. U.S. helicopter strike blasts an Afghan man to pieces as the pilot sings, get this, "Bye-bye, Miss American Pie." I mean, dude's like, "Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Killed the Afghani to the levee and he was died." You
Glad
know?
to have some audio for that.
I tell you, man. And then what else do I got? Oh, the biggest financial scandal in history. Now, that one's usually pretty good because, like, the biggest financial scandal in history is taking place right now. So when we lose all our jobs and the dollar's not worth anything, what should we do?
Me?
Yeah. I mean, when we're like have curfews at 11 o'clock at night and I guess so, huh?
Yep.
And then what should we do?
Huh?
What should we do after that? Go get some burgers? Oh, wait, there won't be a burger joint. Wait a minute, go to our jobs. No, wait, there won't be any jobs.
That's been held back from us.
No, you know what I think we're going to do? We're going to get rounded up into internment camps, and then we're going to wish we had time to do something while we were still free. But, you know, that's just me, man. Hey, look, have a good summer. You guys enjoy your time, and say hi to Juicy J for me.
For sure.
And thank you for coming on. Seriously, girl. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Peace out, everybody. All right. Well, I guess, yeah, there's a good question. You know, I just wanted to know, what should we do, you know? I don't know. Most people don't know, and that's why I'm talking about it. Hopefully you're listening out there and you're getting a word full. What are you going to do, man? I don't know. That's what I just said. You're going to get rounded up into internment camps, and you're going to be fed crap food, and you're going to basically die. Oh, here's Jeff, fellow traveler down the thing. Got another guy from the Dead Man's Carnival. You can tell that because he's got the big top hat on there. You got to love that, man. And a couple of nice River West people out here. Just incredible. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to read about the economic collapse by Michael Schneider. He was talking about the biggest financial scandal in history. Apparently, I don't even know that girl's name. I guess I don't even really want to know her name. She's just one of many people out there just hanging loose, having fun, listening to Juicy J. Oh, Juicy J. Oh, yeah. Bling, bling, bling. No, I hate that kind of shit. I really hate that kind of shit. But you know what? If you're into it, that's cool, man. You can hate the stuff I like, too. Of course, I don't like much anymore, so it kind of makes it hard. I just mostly enjoy being a nihilist. Okay. Well, anyhow, wait. Let me read this article. I got to put on the news thing. That always kind of helps me get in the mood here. All right, here it goes. It lets you know that this is news. The biggest financial scandal in history? You bet it is. We always knew that financial markets were rigged, but this is getting ridiculous. It's now being alleged that 20 major banks have been systematically fixing global interest rates for years. Barclays has already been fined hundreds of millions of dollars for manipulating LIBOR, which is the London Interbank Offered Rate. But Barclays says that a whole bunch of other banks were doing this too. This is shaping up to be the biggest financial scandal in history, and criminal investigations have been launched on both sides of the Atlantic. What those investigations are likely to uncover would shake the financial markets to their very core. In the end, the scandal could absolutely devastate confidence in the global financial system, and it could potentially bring down a number of major global banks. We have never seen anything quite like this before. What is LIBOR? As mentioned before, LIBOR is the London Interbank Offered Rate. A recent Washington Post article contained a pretty good explanation of what that means. In the simplest terms, LIBOR is the average interest rate which banks in London are charging each other for borrowing. It's calculated by Thomson Reuters, the parent company of the Reuters news agency, for the British Banking Association, which is a trade association of banks and financial service companies. Why does LIBOR matter? If you have a mortgage, a car loan, or a credit card, then there's a very good chance that LIBOR has affected your personal finances. LIBOR has been a factor in the pricings of hundreds of trillions of dollars of loans, securities, and assets. The following is from a recent article by Maureen Farrell. What does she say? These traders influence the pricing of the London Interbank Offered Rate, or LIBOR, as a benchmark that dictates the pricing of up to 800 trillion of securities. Yes, trillion. 800 trillion. Get your head around that figure. That is a number that is hard to even imagine. Most American consumers do not even know what LIBOR is, and I think the bubble-headed blonde that was just in here 2 seconds ago, liking Juicy J, She don't know what LIBOR is. She don't care. She just wants to get her thing going on. Little booze, little alcohol, maybe hook up with the guy. Yeah, it's all good, ain't it, girl? Ain't a damn thing to worry about. I should have asked her, though, do you have a job? And why don't you? Where are you getting your money from? What are you doing with your life? What purpose do you have? I wish I could have, but I would have made her cry, and I didn't want to see a little girl cry here right in the studio, but kind of like a bubble-headed bleach blonde, just, I don't know, man. I don't find it attractive. I just don't. I'm sorry to be ragging on you, girl, but just kind of like you did not impress me with your lack of awareness about geopolitical events in the world. I've met a lot of girls that they're totally down with it. They know whether you listen to Juicy J or not. You should know a thing or two, and there's plenty of girls out there that do. I just had to pick the one off the sidewalk that just hasn't a freaking clue in her head. But you know, her mom went to the TSA and got hassled at the airport, and that was a giggle event. Well, oh, here comes my buddies. Awesome. Nice to see them coming up the street here. Well, anyhow, most American consumers... Now people are acting like monkeys outside the window. What are you going to do? Most American consumers do not even know what LIBOR is, but it actually plays a key role in the U.S. economy. Oh, here comes Moss and Hooligan. How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
Here, grab a mic. I just had this chick in here, man. I was asking her, like, do you know anything about anything? And she's like, giggle. I'm going to check out Juicy J. Oh, have you heard of Juicy J?
No.
No, here's Moss. Okay, this is Moss.
Hello.
Yeah, man. You ask Moss about stuff. She's going to tell you about stuff. She knows what's going on. At least she tries. And she's a traveler, doesn't even have internet. But still somehow people are talking about these things. You should have seen this chick in here just a second ago. She's like, I hate to rag on her, but she's just indicative of so many people that haven't a clue what's going on. She wants to go to her big summer event is Juicy J, and we were all talking about...
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. And I was kind of like, am I supposed to know? But I asked her, so what happens when, just out of the blue, like we're all like, ha, Juicy J, yeah, that's great, white rappers, blah, blah. And then I was like, so... what are you going to do when the dollar collapses and you don't have jobs? And, like, the look on her face was like, what? Well, what are you going to do when you can't afford to go to Juicy J?
You boggled her mind.
Well, she looked at me kind of like, I don't know, I guess get drunk. And I was like, what are you going to do when you can't afford to buy booze? I don't know. Kind of uneasy, awkward spot. I said, can I tell you what's going to happen? You're going to be dragged into an internment camp and there starve and die and never get out. Ha.
Wow.
And then, like, the looks on their faces walking out here was just hilarious because, like, I'm serious. I mean, you guys know I'm serious,
Yeah.
but, like, Blondie there, she clueless. And just, you know what? I just want to say I find it totally unsexy when women are like that. Just kind of like, she listens to Juicy J, and I'm like, what's the basic message out there? Is it all about bling bling and bitches are hoes and gangster rolling and this and that?
Bitches and hoes.
And how gangsters don't sleep, they take naps. And I'm thinking, like, who gives a flying fuck? Who cares, man? You know, like,
Yeah.
But,
That's the important stuff to talk about.
and I can, you know what's the funniest? I can rag about her because I know she's not going to listen to this show. And then I get to see her outside fuel, and I'll be like, hey, girl, what's up? And she's like, oh, hey, good.
Totally oblivious to what you just said about her.
Yeah.
But she, like, I don't know. Good stuff.
Good stuff, man. Oh, God, guys, just to recap, I've been reading about spy drones, biggest financial collapses, U.S. helicopter. This one was great. The helicopter pilot, like, he's blowing a dude to pieces in Afghanistan, and he's singing Bye Bye Miss American Pie. It kind of, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, yeah, that's all good.
Sounds like a beautiful person.
Beautiful.
I'd like to meet him and befriend him.
It's just like those movies like Apocalypse Now or Full Metal Jacket where they're like playing music and they're just wasting these little poor guys out in the fields that like don't even know why they're getting blown away by these powerful machine guns, you know. It's just all part. I saw once a dude in Iraq toss a hand grenade into a herd of sheep as they were going by, and like he thought that was just funny as hell, man. And you know,
That's disgusting.
The movies portray it to be cool, and whenever these people go over there, they want to be just like the people in the movies. So they try so hard to do that, and they think that killing is cool when it isn't.
It can't be, man. It's some serious stuff. I mean, I wish I could be that flippant and not care, but I guess I don't really.
This country just like blows things off as though they're not important. Like I don't know, everything. War and the economy. Like, people just don't give a flying fadoodle anymore.
A flying fadoodle?
Yeah.
We need to fadoodle more.
Fly that fadoodle.
Oh, God, we've got 5:39, but thank God Ingrid's Inspirational Hour is coming up here. So, did you guys go check out did you find did you eat? Yeah. Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh,
did you eat?
No, we didn't go.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll work out the little food issue. Damn these tummies. Why must we eat? Life would be so much easier without food.
If only I could poop more than I eat.
If only we could eat Hollister and like the government.
Eat them all up there before they eat us up. Okay, well, in the interest of nicotine levels, I'm gonna throw on another freaking interview. Take a little break. Oh, here, look, this one's 6 minutes and 10 seconds, so that's a nice break.
I'm gonna poop on top of a police car.
There you go. There you go.
Hypothetically speaking.
All right, we'll be right back, and then we're going to Hell in a Handbasket. I'm Michael Wordsworth. You listen to Breaking Down the News. Hang on. This is a special Breaking Down the News celebrity call-in segment where we have known political figures call in and conduct an interview. Today's guest, he was once the National Security Advisor under Nixon during the Vietnam War era, and later Secretary of State. He's probably the most prominent unindicted war criminal roaming around today. I'd like to bring onto the show Mr. The Bloodstains Won't Come Off My Hands no matter how hard I scrub them, Kissinger. Welcome to the show, you evil bloodthirsty monster.
Good afternoon, Michael. Thank you for having me on your show.
Now, you've managed to really piss off a lot of people during your long career as a warmonger hiding in sheep's clothing.
I have. I really have. If I had a conscience, this would really bother me. The illegal, we do immediately. The unconstitutional takes a little longer.
I'm not sure what the hell that means, but you were once a big man in foreign affairs throughout the world, and I bet it's hard to get on anyone's show these days, since people have been rightfully charging you as a war criminal.
The nice thing about being a celebrity is that if you bore people, they think it's your fault. Actually, I make a few public appearances now and then. I was recently honored at the conference on Indochina.
What?
I know. It is ironic, isn't it?
Wait. Let me get this straight. You, the man who, along with Richard Holbrooke, was part of the team in the Nixon White House, helping to craft the Vietnam policy, including Operation Phoenix, which saw the assassination of South Vietnamese political and religious leaders. You are attending this conference.
A country that demands moral perfection in its foreign policy will achieve neither perfection nor security.
But you, Mr. The Bloodstains Won't Come Off My Hands no matter how hard I scrub them, Kissinger, authorized the war to bleed over into Cambodia. The terrible consequence was the eventual rise of Pol Pot and the Cambodian killing fields, and now they invite you to a conference on Indochina hosted by Hillary Clinton?
Imagine my chagrin. Ha 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 ha. Hillary Clinton had to introduce me, which wasn't easy, given her rude comments about me prior to the conference.
Oh, come on. She was just probably covering her own tush. You know she worships at the same altar of death that you do.
Perhaps, but it was ironic. that she had to introduce me. Ha, ha, ha.
Now, in recent years, Mr. The bloodstains won't come off my hands no matter how hard I scrub them, Kissinger. You have come under fire for private comments once made to Nixon during the Bangladesh-Pakistani war, in which you described the then Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi as a, quote, bitch and a witch.
I regret that now.
What, saying that?
No, getting caught saying that. I regret that now.
You also said the Indians are bastards shortly before the war.
I did. What are you going to do, you know?
It's kind of surreal with the coup attempt in Ecuador that this harkens back to your policies in Latin America, which saw the overthrow and murder of Salvador Allende in Chile, and your prompting of Operation Condor in the Plan Mercurio, which oversaw the kidnapping of peoples in Latin American countries, leftist activists. These people were disappeared under Operation Condor, and now we have Hillary Clinton praising you for this evil well done.
It's not a matter of what is true that counts, but a matter of what is perceived to be true.
Do you see a parallel between Vietnam and Afghanistan today?
The war profits must flow unabated. Military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy.
I can't believe you just said that.
Well, I said it before, and I will say it again. Here, I will say it again right now. Military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy.
Mr. Kissinger, you are indeed a madman. It is hard to believe that you played such a pivotal role in our country's foreign policy for decades, and that is all the time I will lend to your madness. You're out of here.
It was a pleasure being on your show, Michael. Good day.
And good riddance. I am Michael Wordsworth, having just interviewed Henry, the bloodstains won't come off my hands no matter how hard I scrub them, Kissinger. Back in a moment. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program.
And now, live from River West Radio, the man with Wordsworth listening to, your host, Michael Wordsworth.
Okay, guys, we got to pull out of here. It's Friday, July 6, 2012. That was the news. This is the end of the show. Check us out on the archives. Subscribe to the podcast. We're still trying to figure out the format, but I don't know. We're working on it. It's just been hot today, and I'm reading a lot of dry news, so I got to make fun of something. Thank you for listening. It's the audience, it's the listeners that make this happen. It's not my voice here. It's the fact that I'm channeling millions of people through this voice. It's not all about me on this show. It's about the people out there and the fact that they have no voice to exercise. They have no media outlet to get their voice out there, and so we got to tell things like they are. All right, here comes Ingrid with Ingrid's Inspirational Hour. You guys take care. Stay cool out there. Peace out.